That's awesome. Hey, what's up guys? This is ANDREIR and welcome to a new video. So if you haven't noticed yet, today we're going to be talking about the FeiyuTech AK4500 gimbal, and man, I'm stoked on it. So a massive thank you to FeiyuTech for sending me this gimbal to test out and make some content with. I'm really excited because this was one of my favorite gimbals that I've used yet. So this video is going to be basically highlighting the top 3 things that I love about this gimbal, and I think that makes it pretty unique compared to the competition like the Ronin and other gimbals in the market. And so right off the bat, my favorite thing overall, everything, is this extra arm. This extra extension gives you so much control, and I noticed it immediately the second I started using this gimbal. Traditionally other gimbals, you just use it like this. You have your tripod legs, and then you have just your other arm here, and you're just moving it around like this. That's all you can do, which works fine. I shot an entire wedding film. If you haven't seen it, I have it on my channel. It gets uncomfortable after a while, and it just doesn't feel very ergonomic or comfortable. And having this extra arm here, just giving you much more support this way, was a game changer. And it's gonna be hard using other gimbals that don't have like a 2-arm grip. Having it right here, I don't know, it feels good, and I love it. Made the shots more stable and just easier to use. And then side note, being that you have a handle right here, oh, look at that. Now inception mode or low shots like this can be done flawlessly. Have you ever noticed if you're carrying a gimbal and you're not shooting, you're like this? All right, waiting for the next shot. You have to carry it like this just next to you. Well, with this arm, whenever I was done shooting, I would just bring it down like that, and I'd have no problems. I would just basically be walking around holding the gimbal like this to the side, and it worked perfect. So, extension arm is a plus. So along with this extension arm, it's actually a wireless remote control. Let me show you guys. Oops, not that part. So you take this remote control off to wirelessly control the gimbal. Works pretty cool. So you turn it on. I feel very uncomfortable because the gimbal's sitting in my lap. So once it connects to the gimbal, you basically already have control over it. Look at that. So I got the same knob that I have on the gimbal right here. That's here, you have it here. And it's great because now you could have someone else operating the gimbal, and then you can be using it, or you can be pulling focus, which I'm gonna get to in the next thing. So yeah, if you hold this trigger, now you have full control over the gimbal. So it makes it pretty unique because you could have the gimbal somewhere else, and then you could be in another spot, and you can just control the gimbal. You can control the speed and everything in the settings. So right now I have it on the normal mode, which is it's a little faster than I would probably like, but yeah, this is a pretty cool thing. And the extension arm had a good range. I remember I had it maybe like 10 to 15 feet away from me, and it was working fine. So major plus there too. So all the same commands that you get from right here can be controlled by this arm wirelessly, which is the second thing I love about this gimbal. Okay, and lastly, my third favorite thing about this gimbal is the focus system. This wheel can have a bunch of different commands to it, and so you can just easily in the menu swipe it to control the focus system. And then right after that, once you put it on, it's just controlling your focus. This is perfect if you have like a manual focus lens or even a manual focus camera. Right now I'm filming on my 5D Mark IV, which has great autofocus, but my previous camera, my Canon 6D Mark I, never had or doesn't have autofocus during video. So you can only use manual focus, and so this would have been a super awesome setup. It almost makes me want to take my 6D out again because I was like, oh, I wish I could. And so the focus system just hooks up to the front of the gimbal, and then you just connect it and you're already set to go. The cool thing is too that you can set the in and out points. You press this button here, and then you can tell the gimbal. And the awesome thing is too is you can do it with this wirelessly as well. So other things I really like about this gimbal is the build quality. I always talk about this. I hate when products feel cheap, they feel plasticky. They just don't feel like the value that they claim to be. And the FeiyuTech is up to that value. It is very sturdy, very hefty, very beefy. It held all my setups perfectly fine. I had different lenses that during that video that you saw, I had the 16 to 35 on there, and it worked great. And then the second thing is just the real world experience with this gimbal was pretty awesome. This is gonna be my new setup that I'll be bringing to weddings for sure. That last gimbal that I shot it on was only a single hand deal, and so being that this one has 2 arms, I think it's going to be a great addition for holding a gimbal for 8 hours plus a day doing shooting a wedding or any other types of video projects. And then I also really love the battery life. I haven't charged it in a couple days, and then we were out there for about 2 hours, and right now it's at easily lasts all day, no problem. The touchscreen on the gimbal is also really handy. You can easily swipe through all the settings and change things really quickly, which is another thing I really like. Most gimbals don't even have a screen, and if they do, it's just a little screen. You have to use the joystick or something, and so being touchscreen nowadays, that's super easy and handy and much quicker. And then the last thing I really like about it is the auto adaptive motors. So once you have your camera balanced, you can go to auto adaptive, and the motors are going to basically know what power settings they need to be on, and so you don't have to tell the gimbal like, oh, this is a light setting or a heavy setting. The motors are going to adapt to it, and it's been working great. I don't have any issues. Works fine, which is a great plus again. And then the FeiyuTech app works really well with it also. Basically all the commands you can change in the gimbal settings, any software updates, which was the first thing I did. I got it out of the box, and then I did a firmware upgrade just to make sure I was up to the latest version, and then got rolling. And then other things about this gimbal, this is a very light setup, and so I knew it would have no problem holding this, but it can hold up to 10.4 pounds, so you can easily mount a cinema camera on this. I need to get with Wes and see if we can mount his C200 on here and other accessories and see how that handles that. So that'll be in another video. That'll be a fun test. So a couple of drawbacks. I'd have to mention that being that this is very hefty it comes with some weight. So this is pretty heavy, and it's expected though. You need that. It's not even a drawback. The only reason I mention that is that other gimbals are smaller and can do what they do, but being that you have this extension arm, heavy duty material, I think it's really worth the trade-off, but it's just I figured I needed to mention. So, and then last thing I have to say that isn't really a drawback, but it definitely has a learning curve. So it's not one of those gimbals that you just get it out of the box, piece all the pieces together really easily, and you're ready to go. It does take a bit of a learning curve. I had to research a bit on it because the cool thing about it is they give you so many accessories with the professional kit, like the focus system, and then different parts where you can mount things, basically setting it up at first and just knowing what all you can do with it. But I really like that because that leaves other options to mount things to this gimbal. And then I love that there's a whole bunch of access points all over it where you can just mount a monitor, extra batteries, whatever you need, and so I really like that. But yeah, that's it guys. That's pretty much it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Thank you again so much, FeiyuTech, for sending me this gimbal. They were also so kind to provide you guys with a 10% discount code if you guys like to pick up this gimbal. This gimbal is $749 US, and I know that's a hefty tag, but honestly it's worth it. I've been super happy using it, and I would really invest in this gimbal for that price point for everything that it offers and how well it operates. So here's the discount code, guys. I think it's ANDREIR, and so if you are interested, just head over to the link in my description to pick it up and make sure to use that code to get 10% off. And that's pretty much it, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down your thoughts on what you think of the FeiyuTech AK4500 gimbal, and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for you guys to be part of my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.